Hi, good afternoon. This is Chef Jappy from Tsismis NYC, and welcome to our edition of Cook with Tsismis. Today we are doing Sarangani Bay Bangus. We have a new recipe for you guys. It's called Roasted Milkfish with turmeric onions and garlic mushrooms. So this is going to be in collaboration with Sarangani Bay Bangus, which is, as we all know, the national fish of the Philippines. First thing we're gonna do is before we talk about the bangus or myself or the geographical location, we're gonna start by putting the seasoning the bangus and putting it in the oven because this will require about 20 to 25 minutes. So we start by opening the pack, and then we have our sheet pan already ready, laid with banana leaves. So we're gonna be cooking for you guys today. So we have a pack of bangus, 2 pieces, and then we're gonna roast this fish skin side up. Okay. So let's start by seasoning the flesh first. So it's 2 o'clock here in New York City. So good afternoon to everyone viewing from New York, and I think it's 2 in the morning there in Manila or in the Philippines. So good morning to everyone who's awake right now and watching us. Thank you for tuning in with us. And first of all, we'd like to thank Sarangani Bay Bangus for giving us the opportunity to cook for you today and showcasing how fine this ingredient is from the Philippines. And I have so many fond memories of eating bangus growing up. We would eat this maybe at least 2 or 3 times a week in different forms. I'm Visayan, so obviously there's a lot of sinuba for us. And then, but there's like the relleno, which is also a favorite of mine growing up. And we also like with the kinilaw, the bangus with coconut vinegar and siling labuyo and some calamansi. So those are like favorite dishes. But obviously, as I got older and then gained more experience as a chef, we've tried to innovate and come up with new interpretations of how to best represent the national dish of the Philippines and come up with pairing it with other ingredients that are commonly found either back at home or where I am situatedly cooking. So currently, that's here in New York City. Being a Filipino chef, one of the greatest challenges and also the greatest opportunity, I would say, share this at the same time, is obviously trying to blend the products that we have back in the Philippines and then pairing it with what is locally found. For now, here in New York City, so we go by seasons here. So we try our best to kind of incorporate what we can find daily fresh in the market. So what we're doing now is basically we're just seasoning it, salt, pepper, some patis. But feel free to come up with your own version at home. Some people would prefer to put soy sauce. Some people like it a little bit more acidic, maybe coconut vinegar, or you can always put hot sauce, sriracha. Some people like it sweet with honey. It actually really depends. But for this recipe, I'm trying to find the balance of all the flavors that will come in when we plate the final dish. So fish has been seasoned well. Oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. I know back home, a lot of people also don't like to use the oven. So this can also be done either grilled, smoked, or pan fried, as you prefer. But I feel like roasting it kind of matches well with the mushrooms and the flavors of the mushrooms, the onions, and the side salad that we're going to serve with. And it's also, I feel like growing up, roasted fish was not really it's not really commonly used back home, so we kind of want to introduce this so people get used to it a little bit more. So now it's going inside the oven. So it's preset at 350 degrees. We have it here. So it's now 2:06. I'm going to set my timer for 25 minutes. But I would recommend that that you check it after 20-22 minutes, just because oven heat varies. Some ovens are very strong, some are a bit weaker. So we just want to make sure that we're on the same consistency. So now that that is inside the oven and we have a little bit of time, let's talk a little bit about Sarangani Bay. So Sarangani Bay, as we all know, is in the southernmost tip of the Philippines. So this is in the region of Mindanao, and their capital port is General Santos. This is the Visayan part of Mindanao, so they speak Cebuano like us. Manny Pacquiao is from General Santos, in case you were not aware. Sarangani Bay is a very rich. It's very rich in natural resources. This is bordering Celebes Bay, which actually will lead towards the Pacific Ocean, and it is known for milkfish. Milkfish, as what I said before, is the national fish of the Philippines. This is not certified by law, but it's just by default, because we have it in abundance, and as Filipinos, we just love to eat it. But with that being said, bangus or milkfish is not only found in the Philippines. It's very common to our Southeast Asian counterparts. Vietnam has it, Thailand has it, Taiwan also. I think they're quite similar to the Philippines in using bangus, but it can also be found not only in the Southeast Asian coast, but all the way up to the Pacific coast. So Hawaiians are very familiar with it, Tahiti. So it's gaining popularity now. Let's talk about the company for a brief moment. So Sarangani Bay was started by the Alcantara family, I believe in the late 80s, 88. And they've been exporting milkfish to Pinoys overseas since 1997. And the aqua farm is handled by Alson's Aquaculture, which is based in Sarangani Bay. It's one of the biggest in the country. It's US FDA approved. It meets European standards, and it has HACCP certifications. So we make sure that the fish is cultivated, harvested, and served to you in the most sustainable fashion. And as a Pinoy chef, I'm very proud of this product. We carry this a lot at Tsismis NYC. It's always on the menu as one of our staple dishes. Let's talk about Tsismis a little bit. So Tsismis we are a Filipino-American restaurant and bar. We're located at 143 Orchard Street, which is at the Lower East Side here in New York City. Our main goal is to promote Philippine food and culture here in New York City. We opened our doors on June 6, June 6, 2019, which is about 2.5 years ago, and we've been around ever since. We've gone through the pandemic. Thankfully, we're still here serving your favorite Philippine dishes. It's a difficult time, but I feel things are kind of slowly coming back now. And it's been our main aim to always showcase products that we have back home, and to teach non-Pinoys here a little bit more about our culture. So as a chef, this is something that I'm really proud of, that we're able to inform and educate the American palate about Philippine cuisine. So this dish has a few other components with it when we plate it. So obviously the Sarangani Bay milkfish is the main component as the protein, but it comes with a few sides. So we're gonna slowly start making our way with it. So we have our regular onion, yellow onion. So for this recipe, it calls for rings. So basically, do not slice it lengthwise, but kind of how you're gonna do beef steak. So you know, like onion rings, basically is how we're gonna cook this ingredient. So let me just make sure we are clean and preparing. And I also want to thank Nationale Bladeworks for making awesome products for us. And then it's so nice that our steel is now made back home in the Philippines. So we're just gonna cut it in maybe 1/4 of an inch increments. And then we're gonna just break it apart. So I'm not gonna cook everything for now because we are only plating one dish. But obviously when you're feeding a family, the recipe will increase. But I'm gonna use the larger rings so they're all even in sizes and they cook evenly. And then what we're gonna do next is we have our mushrooms here. Just our regular portobello mushrooms, which I already cleaned earlier. Make sure you just remove their stem, which is easily you can easily peel them off. I think we're just gonna need 4 pieces, and then we can just trim the inside a little bit. You can see, so we can clean the mushroom better. And the ingredients, like what I said, are interchangeable. So you know, if you find like kamote or something a little bit more something that normally grows in your area, feel free to interchange it. It could be like an alugbati, or if you want to be more like on the leafier side, it's just for me, every time I develop a recipe, I try to utilize mushroom as much as I can. It's such a versatile ingredient, and it's just the umami flavor is just so rich that I just like eating it all the time. And it cooks well on any format. You can grill it, you can saute it, fry it, smoke it. It's just so versatile. So this is the proper way to clean it. Just make sure we get all of the ears. Okay, so now that this is done, we have about 4 pieces here. So we can just slowly slice it evenly. so it cooks properly. And then the idea behind this dish, the garlic mushrooms, is it's kind of taken from salpicao, which I'm sure most of you have heard and tried in the Philippines. For those that have never heard of this dish, it's mainly mushrooms and an oyster sauce mixture. But this time we're gonna keep it a little bit simpler to kind of not overpower the other ingredients, so they all blend as one dish. So we're gonna move to the kitchen. We're gonna start with the onions here. So we're gonna warm it up a little bit, the pan, and then I'm just gonna warm up the pan for the mushrooms also. Make sure we don't get this on fire. And then I am gonna get a little bit of oil. We'll start with the onions while we're warming up the mushrooms. It's gonna be really quick. So the idea for the onions is we don't wanna overcook it. We wanna keep the firmness of the vegetable. So it's kind of toss it in high heat, and then just quickly toss it, and then it will kind of release a little bit of its sugars, which will balance well with the turmeric. So as the pan is slowly warming up, I hope everyone is getting hungry and excited about this dish. So you can now hear. So we're on high heat. Put a little bit of salt there. A little bit of pepper. And then we're gonna go to our favorite part now, which is we're going with we're gonna cook the mushrooms as well at the same time. This has some garlic in it, so this is gonna release a lot of fragrance. The onions are slowly coming together. So we're gonna add a little bit of turmeric in it to give it that nice color, and then it's also a lot of health benefits, and then the flavors is just goes well with the sweetness of the onion. There's garlic here. Make sure we don't burn it. So now we see the turmeric kind of coating the onion. We wanna give it that color, but not too much of not to overpower it, like what they do with smoothies and okay. So this is almost getting cooked, so now I'm gonna lower this down, and then the garlic I can see is now slowly working its magic. Give some mushrooms here. Then we're gonna season it. we can turn this off, and then what we can do so we have some of our ingredients here kind of laid out already. So we're gonna put the onions here, let it cool down for a minute. So remember, we turn off our stove. And then we have the mushroom, the garlic mushrooms. So the mushrooms is cooks very quickly, but the idea is to kind of coat it with the garlic to give it that salpicao feel. So normally we do a little soy sauce with it, any soy sauce brand that you prefer, and then so just a dash to give it a little bit more and then obviously as a Pinoy decided we add a little Maggi to it just to give it that nice flavor that we always crave for, like when we're coming home from school. I remember as a kid we used to eat I used to put Knorr on anything and everything. So mushrooms are kind of coming together. We can leave that there for a minute, and that should be cooking. That should be finished soon. So we have a few more ingredients on the plate that we're going to showcase. And I'm sorry, the alarm went off. Sorry about that, guys. And then we're gonna start building the So now we're gonna the other components of this dish. We're gonna slowly start to build, so you can see the finished product. I'm just gonna put this away real quick, so we have a clean, fresh board that we can use. So it's always very important to work kind of cleanly as you go, so you can stay organized and you won't miss any of the ingredients. You can plate properly, and you can utilize all the tools at your disposal. So this dish is garnished with a salted egg and a cherry tomato salad. So salted duck egg, very common in Asian cultures, Southeast Asian. We almost eat this every day. So these are the red eggs that you find if you go to Asian markets, in case you ever wondered what they were. So they're very, very salty and high in protein. So we just dice it, not too small, not too big either, just bite size. That the idea is when you have one spoonful, you can have a bit of the salted duck egg, but also a bit of the cherry tomato. So obviously the cherry tomato or cherry or grape tomato, they're kind of shaped cylinder like a grape. So we want to mimic the size as well. So now we have it, and then very important before anything, before plating, is you have to try your ingredients to make sure they're the right flavor and they're seasoned well already. So never I would always ill advise to plate directly from the pan. Kind of transfer it to a sizzle tray or your desired vessel, but make sure to try your ingredients. So we're gonna try 1 onion just to make sure that it's cooked properly and it's seasoned well. Perfect. You can hear the crunch. 1 mushroom. I tell you, you can never go wrong with mushrooms. Ever. This is so good. This is the cherry tomato. And then we have some enoki mushroom to garnish it with. And I am going to get, so we don't forget, our amaranth red. So, we have the components slowly coming together, and let's see. We have, okay, perfect. We have 30 seconds for the fish to come out, so it's almost ready. So we're gonna get our vessel on where we're gonna plate it. So we have prepared prepared plate that what we use at Tsismis. Then we line it up with banana leaves, and then we have the garnishes that go with it. Okay, I apologize for that. And then we are gonna check our fish. So we're gonna put our mushrooms here. And our fish, yes. We're gonna give it 2 more minutes just to make sure. I think it's still lacking a little bit of time. So it's 2:28, 2:30, we will get it out. So I just want to make sure I have everything ready. Teach you guys a cool technique when it comes to slicing onions, which I learned somewhere in California, is for you not to get any of the seeds. So normally what we do is we cut it, so if this is vertical, so we cut it horizontally in the middle. So yes, that is the best way to maximize juicing it, but obviously you're slicing into, you're gonna get all of the onions. So if you slice vertically from the side, and then it's kind of like, imagine you're slicing a mango with the seed in the middle. So if you just kind of go before, and then you get a nice piece. Well, one seed came with it, but normally you get 1 piece without a seed. So that's normally the best way on how to get a lemon. And voila, here we go. So it is now 2:30. So the fish has been inside for 25 minutes exactly. We're gonna get it out of the oven and then it looks nicely roasted. I can smell the aromas. Also, I like to, every time I'm cooking something in the oven, I always like to use banana leaves because the aroma just kind of, it blends well with the fish. I normally do this as well when I'm grilling as well. It's just the flavors kind of blend together. The smell just reminds me of home. And I mean, who doesn't like banana leaves, right? For most North Americans, when you see banana leaf, it means like you're on holiday, right? So that's kind of like the whole idea. And while the fish is nice and hot, we are, hold on, let me just organize. Let me put this here so we don't, and let me put this here. Be careful with your hot pans and sheet pans. So kind of put this here and get our plating vessel ready. So just slowly scrape it with a spatula. Make sure everything is there, and it smells so good. It almost smells so good. Right there, and then we're gonna plate a little bit of the onions. I wish you could smell it right here. It's amazing. The turmeric, the fish, everything just looks and smells beautiful. And I'm sure it tastes beautiful also. And then we're gonna get the mushrooms. So when you're plating a dish, it's important to be be patient. Don't kind of rush it, and respect the integrity and the versatility of each key ingredient. It kind of what makes every dish special. It doesn't matter how much it costs or where you got it. The important thing is if you cook with love, you cook with respect and integrity, and everyone will love your dish. Let's get a little bit of the garlic there. So now that this is here, we have the bangus. We're gonna now move to the opposite side, and then we're gonna work on the garnish, actually not yet the garnish, but the side dish that goes with it. So for this, we're doing a side of a salted egg salad, and we're using today we're using butterhead lettuce. Very common here in New York City. Hydro farmed and just delicious overall. But if you're in the Philippines, any greens will do. If you wish to have them sautéed, that's fine as well. Salted egg salad can be done in any form. I've even had it. I remember in Baguio before when we went on a trip. It was served with grains as well, with heirloom grains, which was really good. First time to ever try that. So we can just kind of, it's a very simple ingredient, but it's very delicate. So we just, of course, before serving anything raw, we have to wash it. Kind of very nicely here, and then we have our salted egg. Make sure we get a lot of the yolk as well, okay? That's the important part of the dish. This is quite a very powerful ingredient. So pending if you're not really accustomed to having it, you can adjust it maybe by putting only a quarter. It depends. But for this, we kind of want to, we love it. So we kind of want to put everything in there. And then we have our cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes. I've peeled them. So how you normally peel them is you put them on the deep fryer, and then after like 4 seconds, 4 to 7 seconds, the skin will just kind of pop out, and you just have to pull it. So just be very careful with working with a deep fryer, because once the skin kind of loosens, the oil once the skin kind of loosens, the water from the fruit releases, and then it will shoot out from the oil. So just be very careful, okay? And then cool it down a little bit so you can remove the skin. So it has a more dense, more complex flavor, and then it's better for digestion as well without the skin. And I mean, who doesn't like tomatoes, right? They're just super awesome ingredient. So now we have tomatoes here. And then I have a seared mushroom, just to kind of give it a little bit of a garnish. Put a little pepper here, little pepper there. We're gonna skip the salt because the egg is already very salty. But we do have calamansi vinaigrette here, so which is basically calamansi, squeezed calamansi, honey, and sunflower oil. We're just gonna garnish the salad a little bit, give it life and enoki, and then lastly, just some red aromat to give the dish some color and some added flavor. Let's make it look nice and bright. And then let's not forget our lemon. And now we have our final dish. So this is Sarangani Bangus, roasted milkfish belly with turmeric onions and garlic mushrooms, served with a side of salted egg salad. Maraming salamat to everyone who, thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in. Thank you to Sarangani Bangus for giving me the opportunity to showcase how versatile the milkfish belly is. I'm very proud to be Visayan, and I'm very proud to be cooking Philippine ingredients here in New York City. This is what we do at Tsismis. And thank you, of course, to Nationale Blade Works for my knives and my gear. Super awesome. And thank you to everyone at Tsismis who tuned in. I want to ask, are there any questions? Do we have any questions here? Does anyone have any questions for me to answer before we end the session? Okay, so I guess we are good. So okay, from Katrina Cecilia. Katrina Cecilia, thank you for your question. What's your favorite dipping sauce? She's asked. Okay, wow, that is a very difficult question. First of all, that will definitely depend on what dish is being served. any appetizer would have a different dipping sauce. But by default, growing up in the Philippines, we have this mixture which is half part soy sauce. So no, I'm sorry, 1/3 part soy sauce, half part vinegar, and then calamansi. Then we put garlic, shallot, and sile to it, and then you just kind of balance the flavor of salty, acidic, and spice. And then this dipping sauce is kind of my dipping sauce to anything. It will go on grilled yempo, on grilled smoked fish. But also, I think aside from that, there's also the spice vinegar, just directly coconut vinegar, and then with a lot of sile and garlic. That's also another one of my favorites. That will go on anything from steak to fish to chicken. Also for kinilaw. And then I think we have another one here. So we have also from Katrina Cecilia. Do you use calamansi in New York? If I don't have, should I use lime? Okay, this is a very good question, a very difficult question. Do I use calamansi in New York? Yes, I do. I unfortunately have to resort to using the package puree, calamansi puree, because I feel that's the closest it comes to that's the closest flavor it will come to the real fruit. But there are let's say for making beverages, there's the calamansi honey mixture that I find is really good with like calamansi aids and things like this. So it kind of varies. Lime, yes, you can use lime, but lime has a completely different flavor from calamansi. So it doesn't really work as a direct substitute. But given our dishes are very tropical in nature, lime will tend to work better with it than lemon. And then we have a few more questions from Riza. White rice or garlic rice with this dish? Okay, Riza. Yes. Let me think. Well, for me, honestly, I by default I'm just garlic rice on everything. But this dish will go well with white rice alone because there's already it's already packed with different flavors that can work well with the simplicity of a jasmine rice. But then again, being Pinoy, you can never have enough garlic. So I'm just like, I'm that person. I eat garlic through and through. And Risa, can do a kare-kare tutorial in the future? Yes, I can and I will. I will have to schedule it. I don't know what the next demo is what the next demo recipe will be and when it will be, but I will make sure to put a note to put kare-kare in the future. Please message us at Instagram with your information, so when we are doing the demo for the kare-kare, I will reach out to you. And then so I think that's it. Once again, thank you to everyone here in New York City who tuned in to Tsismis NYC for our IG live demo with Sarangani Bay Bangus, roasted milkfish belly with turmeric, onions, and garlic mushrooms with a side of salted egg salad. And thank you to Sarangani Bay Bangus for giving us the opportunity to showcase this product here in North America. And also thank you to Tsismis NYC for the support, and to Nationale Blade Works for our equipment. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. And I will see you soon. This is Chef Jappy signing out. Mabuhay.